So we have 8 statements in reported speech, but all of these statements have a mistake. And your job is to find the mistake and correct it. Okay, let's do the first one together, and then I'm going to give you about 3 to 4 minutes to do the rest. Sentence 1. He told her, meeting in front of the canteen. This sentence in reported speech is incorrect. And what is the mistake? The mistake is that after the object her, he told her, we need to use the infinitive. Let's say this was a suggestion. He told her to meet in front of the canteen. Sentence 2. She said she knew, in the past, knew the answer. 3. Dylan said that he, we need over there, the object. Dylan said that he had bought the tickets for the concert. 4. They asked me to come back in 5 minutes. She asked me, infinitive, to hurry up. She asked me whether I spoke Spanish, or she asked me if I spoke Spanish. Sentence 7. Nathan asked if he had finished. Again, we forgot the object over there, which is a common mistake. And the last one. Bjorn asked me not to tell anyone about what had happened. That's command in the negative form. We use not plus the infinitive. Good. Now we're going to move on to reporting verbs. In this lesson, we'll be looking at reporting verbs which are needed when we're reporting what someone said to someone else. The most commonly used, of course, are say and tell, speak, and talk. But we will be looking at other reporting verbs that are used in reported speech and which you will find useful. Okay, so let's begin. Can you say that again? Tell Janet to meet us in front of the canteen. She wants to talk to you. How many languages do you speak? Read the sentences again. Look at how we use the reporting verbs say, tell, talk, and speak. We're going to focus on the first two, say and tell, for now. Both of these are irregular verbs, so in the past tense the form changes. Say becomes said, tell becomes told. Okay, so how do we use these verbs and what is the difference? Say means to express something with words. Tell means to give or pass on information to a person. So that's the most important difference between these two verbs. With tell, we always need a person following the verb. This could be a proper noun, for example, James, or a pronoun, he. He told her to wait. So he told her, that's the person, to wait. Or James told Sharon to wait. What did she say? What did she tell you? So what information did she give you? Jean said that World of Warcraft is a really good game. Jean told me that World of Warcraft is a really good game. Did Priscilla say anything about it? Did Priscilla tell you anything about it? So that's the most important difference between these two verbs, that with say, we are passing on information, but with tell, we are also passing on information, but to a person, to somebody. So tell is always used with an indirect object in reported speech. She told me the news. She told her boyfriend the news. She told us the news. She told her sister the news, or she told them. the news. You always need the person after the verb. And what about say? Say is normally used with direct speech. So he said, I'm not going there again. We do not use tell with direct speech. He tell, I'm not going. He tells us or he told us that he's not going there again. We don't normally use tell with direct speech. There are some common fixed expressions that are used with these verbs, say and tell. Let's start with tell. You should never tell a lie. But sometimes we all end up telling a white lie here and there. So what's a white lie? A white lie is sometimes you want to avoid telling the whole truth, so maybe not to hurt somebody's feelings, or maybe you were invited to a party but you don't really want to go, so you come up with an excuse. You tell a white lie. Come on, Michael, you're good at telling jokes, so you tell a joke. Tell that to the Marines. We say this when we really don't believe that something is true. Tell that to the Marines, I'm not believing you. Don't tell a soul. So don't tell anyone, keep this between us. Tell me about it. So imagine that you were stuck in traffic on the bus and you tell your friend, oh, I've been stuck over an hour. And she says, yeah, tell me about it. So I'm familiar with that unpleasant situation or experience. I've been through it too. Some common expressions would say, it's easier said than done. We might have heard this a couple of times. So basically it means that it's easier to talk about it than to actually do it, to put it into practice. No sooner said than done. So this is used to say that you will do something immediately. It goes without saying or needless to say, which means of course. Needless to say, of course, his mother was ecstatic when he returned from abroad after completing his studies. The least said, the soonest mended. Now this means that if something bad happened, it is better to avoid talking about it. And then we let it go. We forget it. Well done is better than well said. This is from Benjamin Franklin, one of the founding fathers of America. And basically it means that what we do for others is much more important than what we say, than the things we say. There's a similar expression with speak. Actions speak louder than words. So it's better to actually do something than to say that you're going to do something. Okay, so before we move on to some more practice, we're going to have a quick look at some common problems that we might have at this stage with reporting verbs. Okay, I'm going to read out the following and think if it's correct or incorrect. You should have a clear idea by now. He said me. Is that correct? Remember, we do not use an indirect object with say. So we can say, he said to me. Or we change it to tell, he told me. Another one. Then the teacher told, let's call it a day. Again, when we are reporting what somebody said, we do not use tell with an indirect object. So then the teacher told the class, or the teacher said, let's call it a day. Let's call it a day, which means let's end what we're doing and continue with the rest of our day.